Mark makes an interesting point. It's important to keep young people well aware of what's going on in this country and how their future is being mortgaged. My two sons are here. They're 25 and 23. And the first time they opened a paycheck and looked at the taxes is when they decided to get involved. So, next on our group we have Senator Rick Santorum, formerly of Pennsylvania. Senator, come on up.
You know the address of the town hall in Salem right now that I'm going to? Because I want to go there, but I don't have the address.
Yes. Senator Santorum was first elected to the House of Representatives in Pennsylvania, House of Representatives from Pennsylvania at the age of 32. So he's had some time to understand what's going on in politics, and now he's engaging in the presidential
Can you send that to my phone?
Yes.
All right.
235-286.
Yeah, I am. Send it to this. I'm going to get out my car and go.
Okay, I hope they typed this and they spelled it right, so you navigate a little bit.
But it's just give it to me verbally again anyway.
It is
Jerry Monty,
G-E-R-E-M-O-N-T-Y,
44.
It's just and we pulled out the great weather for us, and just wonderful, beautiful day. We just had an event in Manchester, and we had to move it outside because of the proximity, not being able to fit everybody in. And it was actually balmy outside. It was wonderful. So I just want to thank you for the hospitality. It's great to be here, and I want to thank you for what you're doing out here in the First of the Nation primary, for stepping up and doing your work to make sure that we have an election where you speak clearly here in New Hampshire about what the nation needs. We all have an obligation when you are first in the nation as a primary to step up and examine the candidates. Look at who has what is necessary, has both the plan and the record to back up the plan, that you know that they'll actually do what they say they're going to do. You know, and if you're in the financial services arena, you can't say that past performance is an indication of future success. But in politics, it is the best indication of exactly what you plan on doing and whether you'll do it. And so I encourage all of you to not just look at what the candidates say, but look at what the candidates have done as a pretty good indication as to what they will do. I would make the argument was made to me, I should say, that a lot of the pundits, this was before our little adventure in New Hampshire earlier this week, a lot of folks were saying, Rick, the reason you're not going anywhere in the polls is because you spend all your time not just talking about what you're going to do, but you talk about what you've done. You spend too much time talking about your record. So all the other candidates, they go out there and just talk about what they're going to do. And my response to that was, well, if I had their record, that's what I'd talk about too. But I'm proud of my record. Is it perfect? No. But it is a record that shows clear convictions, a clear path to get our country prosperous with limited government, with lower taxes, with strong families and communities, and with a strong presence, peace through strength. It is the Reagan model. And if we want to go back and look at what New Hampshire has done in that regard, I remind everybody that in 1980, when we had a critical election about the economic and cultural future of this country, about the national security of this country, when we had Jimmy Carter, who was driving this country into a ditch almost as bad as this president has on all three of those fronts, the people of Iowa, the conservatives, those folks who are in those caucuses who picked conservative candidates, voted for George H.W. Bush. And New Hampshire voted for Ronald Reagan. Woo! The people in New Hampshire recognized that we needed someone at this critical juncture who had the ability and the conviction to do what America needed to have done. And even though New Hampshire, I am told repeatedly by the press, is much more moderate, much more libertarian, much more concerned about fiscal and financial issues. They chose the strong, principled conservative. They chose the the bold contrast. They chose what America needed. That's what New Hampshire's supposed to do. To look to see at this critical time in our country's history, what do we need in a leader? And then do what your duty is in First in the Nation primary. And give America what it needs. But for New Hampshire, we would not have had Ronald Reagan. You were told repeatedly in 1980, we need to win. We just need to win. Please, just vote for the winner who can get those moderate votes. And New Hampshire said, no, we need to restore America. And so I challenge the people of New Hampshire. There's an article written the other day, and I was doing my final lap around Iowa. And I asked the people of Iowa, I'm going to ask you here tonight. And they said that Rick Santorum is running an ask, don't tell finale to his campaign. I'm going to ask you, not tell you, I'm going to ask you to do what your duty is. To not look at what the pundits are saying, who can win, who's the best positioned, who has the best organization, who can raise the most money. Lead. Do what you think is best. Pick the person who is the right person to do what is necessary for this country. And be bold, because it is the time to be bold. We need the sharp contrast. We need a real reversal of where this country is headed. Lead and be bold. If you do those two things, you will surprise a lot of pundits. You will send a clear message from New Hampshire as to what this country needs to move us in a direction of limited government, not top down. No more government knows best how to provide for your health, provide for your financial security, to provide for managing the environment. No more bailouts, no more top-down medical care, no more cap and trade, no more government knows best. We have that. We need a sharp contrast. We need someone who believes in you. In 2008, the people of this country were convinced they needed someone that they could believe in. I believe Americans really want someone who believes in them. If there's any group of people in my now 31 visits to the state of New Hampshire, if there's any group of people that I am absolutely convinced believe in freedom, who believe in that American exceptionalism of limited government, believing in strong families, strong communities, and providing and doing things at the local level, active participants in the civic ordeal of life, it is the people here in New Hampshire. You can go up to yourself. I was complimenting you. And so I would encourage New Hampshire, send a message as to who New Hampshire is. Tell all these pundits that you understand conservatism. You understand the basic principles of our country better than anybody, because you live there. Do on Tuesday what you do every other day in New Hampshire. Vote for someone who believes and will fight and will lead and accomplish limited government. So the live free or die state will be free. Thank you very much.